सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। अथ सप्तदशोऽध्यायः श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सुद्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्णातु का कृष्ण सत्त्वबाहो रजस्तमः। श्रीभगवानुवाच त्रिविधं भवति श्रद्धा देहिनां सा स्वभावजा सात्विकी राजसी चैव तामसी चेति तां शृणु। सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत। श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषः यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः। यजन्ते सात्विका देहान् यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः प्रेतान् भूतगणांश्चान्ये यजन्ते तामसा जनाः। So we have completed the 16th chapter. Now we are entering into the 17th chapter. Paramatma initially dealt in this Charma Shatkam, the third Shatkam, that is in the 13th, 14th and 15th chapter, about the self-knowledge, which is the essence of Gita, which is the central theme of the Gita, which is the only means of liberation. Self-knowledge is the only means of liberation. And having dealt with Atma Vidya in 3 chapters, the following 2 chapters, that are 16 and 17, Paramatma wants to convey a very important idea. That is, a person's lifestyle should be in tune with the Vedic way of living. Then only the self-knowledge can be accommodated. Otherwise, it will become an obstacle. Because according to our Vedas, according to Paramatma, the very lifestyle has got influence on our capacity to receive the Shastra, and also the capacity to retain this astra. Just a particular type of plant can grow in a particular type of earth and a particular type of weather. Only in a particular type of lifestyle, Vedanta friendly lifestyle, the knowledge can be accommodated. The knowledge can take place. Therefore, the way of life is very, very important as the committed study of scriptures. Whereas, when you study the other material sciences like physics, chemistry, mathematics and all that, your result has nothing to do with your personality. One may be a university gold medalist. It does not guarantee that he is, having noble values. Whereas the spiritual knowledge insists sadhana chatushtaya sampannata. Without sadhana chatushtaya sampannata, it is very difficult to acquire and retain the knowledge. Veda Purva deals with the lifestyle you have to lead. It deals with the lifestyle which you have to lead. Veda Anta deals with the philosophy or the knowledge that you have to work for. One is called Dharma Shastra, the other is called Brahma Shastra. In the 2 chapters 16 and 17, Paramatma is concentrating on the Vedic lifestyle. In the 16th chapter, just now we have completed, Paramatma pointed out Daivi Sampat has to be there in the life of a spiritual person. Daivi Sampat alone will help in receiving and retaining and absorbing the Brahma Vidya. Whereas if Asuri Sampat is there for a person, he may be academically a brilliant student. Therefore, he might be able to understand the logic of the Upanishads. Perhaps Mandukya he can brilliantly grasp, and perhaps he can give a brilliant discourse also. So, academically, he may be sound, but the Asuri Sampat which goes along with the Upanishadic study, the knowledge will retain as information only. It can never bring about a transformation in the life. He will be an educated Rakshasa. Saksharaha Rakshasaha Bhavati. Sakshara means an educated person. Akshara means a letter. Sakshara means a man of letters. So, if a person has education without Daivi Sampat, we have to reverse this Sakshara. He will become Rakshasa. Because they know how to mask and cover their Rakshasatvam also. Therefore, Upanishadic study will be meaningful if and only if the lifestyle is Upanishadic friendly, and that is called Daivi Sampat, just the opposite quality of Asuri Sampat. And this topic being very, very important, Paramatma deals with the same topic in this chapter also. This stress on the way of life. What you know, Paramatma asks us to keep aside. What you practice, what type of lifestyle you lead, how do you treat people, what type of language you use in your day-to-day communication. All this will matter. That way, the way of life is being focused in 16th and 17th chapters. This chapter is triggered by the question from Arjuna. So Arjuna questions based on the teaching of 16th chapter. By the way of answering the question, Paramatma deals a little bit more on the way of life. This is the background of 17th chapter. So with this background, we will enter into the text proper. So the first sloka, Arjuna Vacha Ye Shastra Vidimrutsudya Yajante Sradhayanvitah Tesham Nishtatuka Krishna Sattvabaho Rajastamaha. Arjuna Vacha, Arjuna asked, Katu Nishtha, what is the status? Tesham, of these people, Ye Utsrujya, who ignore Shastra Vidhim, the rules and regulations of Shastra, Ejante, and worship, Anvitaha, Sradhaya, with faith, Sattvam, is it Sattvaguna? Rajaha, is it Rajoguna? Aho Tamaha, or Tamoguna. Krishna, oh Krishna, please tell me. So Arjuna is asking, what is the status of those people who ignores the scriptural rules and worship with faith and reverence? Is it Sattva, Rajas, or Tamas? O Krishna. Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna asked on the basis of 16th chapter. In 16th chapter, towards the end, Krishna Paramatma said, Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavasthito Jnatva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartumiharhasi. In the last verse, that is 24th verse, therein Paramatma said, if you want to know what is a scriptural way of life, what is dharmic way of life, what is Daivi Sampat, if you want to diligently avoid Asri Sampat, the best guide is scriptures. The best guide is the scriptures, Shastram. So, Shastram Pramanam. Shastra is the guiding manual. As I often said, before you operate any costly machine or gadgets, it may be a TV, a radio, or a CD player. Before you start operating that, first you take a manual or ask a person who has studied the manual. You know what is to be done and what is not to be done. The do's and don'ts with regard to the operation, so that you will get maximum benefit out of that mission. So just as we have a manual with regard to every gadget, with regard to our life also, how to handle the costliest machines, every value in our body, every organ is a valuable thing in our body. If you have to replace the knee replacement, knee transplantation will take 3.5 lakhs. Bone marrow will take 7 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Like that, every organ is very precious and costly. So Bhagavan has given this precious gift free of cost to us. So we should not destroy this. We should not misuse this opportunity. Similarly, we have a wonderful world in front of us. We can use the body and the world to accomplish the highest Purushartha. We can make our life or spoil our life. We can uplift our life or we can destroy our life spiritually. What is the manual that will guide me and make the best use of my life? Paramatma says, Shastram Pramanam. Because Shastra is given out by the Lord himself. Yo Brahmanam Vidadati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedamsya Prahinoti Tasmai, Tagumha Devam, Atma Buddhim Prakasam, Atma Buddhi Prakasam. Vedas have come from Paramatma. And Gita also has come from Paramatma, Krishna Paramatma. Therefore, Krishna Paramatma says, Shastra is the manual. So, take it as your pramanam, take it as your guideline, take it as your manual. With regard to karya, akarya, vyavastita, with regard to do's and don'ts, you can follow Shastra. Then, Arjuna got a doubt. Arjuna is worried. Not all are exposed to Shastram. That too, Shastram is in Sanskrit. It is very difficult to follow. Even if you understand Shastram, the Vedic Sanskrit is totally different. So, there are so many bhashyas and upabhashyas for all the scriptures. So, it is very, very difficult for a common man to get exposed to this literature. Therefore, Arjuna is asking, it is not accessible to common people. Therefore, there are many people who have best intentions, who want to learn scriptures, but they do not have facility to learn because of one obstacle or the other. They have got faith in God. They have got reverence in God. Arjuna says, Shradhayaanvitaha. They have got absolute faith in God. They have faith in prayer. They have got faith in puja. Therefore, they want to do puja, but they do not know what is the right method of doing puja. Therefore, Arjuna says, yes, Shradhayaanvitaha. These people are illiterate with respect to Shastram. They are otherwise literate, but with reference to Shastram, they are illiterate. We have to supply, suppose there are some people who are illiterate with reference to the Vedic literature. They have not studied Purva Mimamsa, Karma Kanda, Kalpa and other things. Kalpa is the method of doing a vratam. Satyanarayana Vratakalpam, they call it. They will tell you the entire procedure. Asanam samarpayami, padhyam samarpayami, achamanam samarpayami. Whether when I say achamanam samarpayami, should I take or offer it to Lord? This kind of difficulty will be there when you are not exposed to Shastra. So, this is the thing. But they have utmost Shraddha. They want to do it with full faith. So, suppose there are these people who are illiterate with respect to Shastra, but they have full faith and trust. And they are, dedicated devotees. What do? Yajante. Because of their enthusiasm and love, they do and practice regular puja to which deity they know of. Whichever deity they love, their Ishtadevata, they choose and do puja. Yajante. What is their problem? Shastra Vidim Utsrudya. They do not have an exposure to Shastra. They do not know the right method. What is wrong, what is right, they do not know. But they do perform puja. The Shastric injunctions are violated sometimes. They are neglected. They do not follow. Why do they not follow? Because they are illiterate with respect to Shastra. But they have got plenty of Shraddha. Their emotions are intense. Now, O Paramatma, how do you categorize these devotees? Tesham Nishtha Ka. So, Nishtha means what is their status? Where do you place them? This is the question. So, what will be the standing? Hey Krishna, please do tell me. Sattvam Aho Rajastamaha. Will you classify them as Sattvika Bhakta or Sattvika devotee or Sattvik worshippers? Or will you class them as Rajasic or Tamasic? What type of Shraddha will be their Shraddha? Shraddha backed by what? Shraddha backed by illiteracy. So he asks, Ka Tesham Nishtha. Nishtha here means, Nishtha here refers to Shraddha. Is it Sattvik, Rajasic or Tamasic Shraddha? And because the question is regarding Shraddha, the very chapter is titled SradhatrayaVibhagaYoga, an analysis of the faith of the devotee. This is the Arjuna's question, for which Paramatma gives the answer in the following verse. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Sattviki Rajasi Cheva Tamasi Chetitam Srunu. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Lord Krishna said so. Dehinam, for all human beings, Shraddha Bhavati, faith is Trivida, threefold, iti, as Sattviki, Sattvik, Rajasi cha iva, Rajasik, cha Tamasi and Tamasic. Sa Swabhavaja, it is born out of one's own nature. Srunu Tam, hear about it. Paramatma started answering. For all human beings, faith is threefold. Sattvik, Rajasic and Tamasic. It is born out of one's own nature. Hear about it. So, Paramatma said, I cannot give you a one-line answer. I cannot tell you they have Sattvik Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha, Tamasic Shraddha. I cannot say because if a person's Shraddha or puja is governed by spiritual injunctions, I can uniformly say that all of them will come under Sattvic Shraddha. Because scriptures guide a person towards Sattva Pradhana nature. Therefore, any action which is scripturally governed, that would be invariably Sattvic. Because scriptures take a person gradually to Sattva Guna. Therefore, the rule is any scripture oriented action will be Sattvic. But in the case of these devotees, what is the problem? Their puja, their activity are not governed by the scriptures. Why it is not governed by the scriptures? Because they are illiterates with reference to Shastra. They are otherwise literate, but as far as Shastra is concerned, they are illiterate. And if scriptures do not guide their activity, the question would be, what will be the guiding factor? What will determine the type of puja they perform, the type of motive they have, the type of deity they will worship? What will determine the puja of an illiterate person? Certainly not scriptures. Then what? Paramatma says, if the scriptures do not determine, it is going to be my own character that is going to determine the type of puja. Because a person's activity can be governed either by an external guideline, or it is going to be guided by what? By his own likes and dislikes, his own vasanas, his own swabhavaha, his own character. These are the only possibilities. Scripture governed, Shastra governed, or character governed. Scripture governed or character governed, it should be. And in case of a particular devotee, it is not scripturally governed because he is illiterate with respect to scriptures. Therefore, Krishna Paramatma says it will be governed by only by his character. Therefore, Paramatma says, Dehinam Shraddha, the faith of these people, these Ajnani Bhaktas, here Dehi refers to devotee, who is not exposed to Shastra. Shraddha and his type of puja, his attitude, his motive, everything will be Swabhavaja, governed by his personality, his mindset, his inclination, his Purva Janma Vasana. These are the factors which will guide him towards his puja. And now the next question will be, what will be the character of a devotee? If action is the important role, action guides a person, what will be the character of a devotee? Paramatma says a character of a devotee will not be same in the case of all human beings, because human character varies from individual to individual. I cannot say uniformly all are Sattvic. I cannot say uniformly all are Rajasic, all are Tamasic. Therefore, Krishna Bhagavan says, the devotee's character is threefold. What are the threefold characters? Sattvic Swabhavaha, Rajasic Swabhavaha, Tamasic Swabhavaha. Devotees themselves are Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Since the character is threefold, the character-based faith also will be threefold. The character is threefold. The character-based faith also will be threefold. Therefore, Krishna Paramatma says, Shraddha Trivida Bhavati. The faith will be three types. What are they? Sattviki cha eva. Sattvika Shraddha. What is Sattvika Shraddha? Krishna will explain later. Therefore, we will only note this much. A Sattvic person will have Sattvic faith. What is Sattvic faith? Have faith in Krishna Paramatma. He will answer. Then second one is Rajasic faith. Third one is Tamasic. Paramatma says, Tam Sruno. Do not be in a hurry. I will systematically, step by step, explain you the entire thing. Only patiently you listen to me. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddha mayoyam purushaha yo yachraddha sayeva saha. O Bharata, O Arjuna, sarvasya, for everyone, Shraddha, faith is bhavati. Bhavati means faith will be there. Sattvanurupa, according to his own temperament, Ayam Purushaha, a person, Shraddhamayaha, consists of his faith, Yevasaha, he is verily, Yaha Shraddha, what is his faith? Is, O Arjuna, for everyone, faith is according to his temperament. A person consists of his faith, is verily what is his faith is. So Krishna says, Arjuna, the Shraddha of a person, the faith of a person depends upon his mind or his character. Sattvam here means mind. Very careful. Here Sattva, Antakaranam, mind, not Sattva Guna, but refers to Sattva Guna Karya Bhuta Antakaranam. And depending upon the type of mind, mind is not the same for all. For one parent, if there are 3 children, Trividam Dushta Lakshanam, they say. If there are different children, they have different characters. So Shraddha Bhavati Sattvanurupa, the faith will depend upon the character of a mind of a person. The next question is the mind of a child controlled by parents or not, or controlled by the genes of the parents? The genetic study says the parents' genes percolate to the children. But however, they are not totally the contributory factors. A person's own effort and vasanas will also, Purvajanma vasanas will also contribute to the character of a child. If a parent has 5 children, all the 5 will be of different nature. A Hiranyakaspu can have Prahlada. A Brahmana Visravasu Rishi have Rakshasa Ravana. Rishi can have Rakshasa Putra Ravana. Ravana is a Brahmana Putra. Therefore, the parentage do not totally determine. The Porojanma Vasanas also will have an influence. So, depending on innumerable factors, every individual behave in different way. The inherited character depends on various factors. Shraddha Bhavati, He Bharata. So, based on this, the Shraddha happens. Shraddha takes place. And by addressing Arjuna as Bharata, Paramatma says that Arjuna, you are lucky that you are born in the Bharata Vamsha. You all belong to Bharata. We are all Bharata. Bha means Brahma Vidya. Prakasatmika Brahma Vidya. Bharata means those who revel, those who value the scriptural knowledge more than anything else. They are called Bharata. So we are all supposed to value spirituality. India is supposed to be the land of spirituality. Even though we are getting doubts nowadays, but we are supposed to be the inheritors of that. Therefore, He Bharata, Shraddha Bhavati. And then Lord Krishna makes a warning. Do not take this Shraddha for granted. Because this rudimentary Shraddha, the faith of a person, which gradually manifests in his younger age, that alone determines his future. Because as a person thinks, as a person believes, so he becomes in future. Therefore, Shraddha alone molds a person. Krishna Paramatma says, I am Purushaha. Every adult human being is a product of his childhood values. The childhood values which are, instilled in a primitive stage, they continue. The childhood models, the childhood heroes, they influence the children. It is the heroes whom we worship. As children, we all have heroes, and that determines the direction of our journey. They say the child is the father of a man. That means your childhood Shraddha will determine what type of adult you are going to be. A child is a father of a man has come just now. But this was said by Krishna then itself. He says a beautiful statement, I am Purushaha Shraddha Maya. Maya means a product. Purusha means adult human being. So any adult human being is a product of childhood Shraddha, the childhood value. That is why we always say, catch them young, like a plant. When a tree is in a plant condition, it is pliable. You can bend it. It is like a plastic, very flexible. You can direct it in any way you want. If you neglect the plant, it grows widely. Thereafter, once it becomes a tree, you cannot change it. Similar thing happens for a child. When a human being is in infant stage, we can instill values because that is the formative stage. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habit. Watch your habit, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your future personality. Therefore, there is no use of regretting later. Better take care of the children in the beginning. Therefore, Paramatma says, Yaha et Shraddha, whatever a person values in his early childhood, that is the early stages of life. That is why the parents have to give the utmost importance for the value system of a child in the formative stage. That's why we have so many Puranic stories which were taught to the children. When we were children, Yaha et Shraddha, whatever a person values in his earlier days, Saha eva saha, tad anurupa eva saha, means tad anurupa, in keeping with those childhood values, his personality will develop. And that alone is, as a person thinks, so he becomes. Thought is pliable and changeable, and once it has become crystallized into character. They say, Swamiji, I want to stop that bad habit, but it is not possible. I want to stop that particular trend, but I am unable to. Even though he tries to use his willpower, all willpower fails because I have allowed that thought and that character to grow to such an extent that it has become a Frankenstein, destroying myself. Therefore, Arjuna, Shraddha is an important factor. Yaha et Shraddha sayeva saha. So we will see the fourth sloka. Ejante satvika devan yaksha rakshansi rajasa Pretan bhuta ganamschanye yajante tamasa janaha. Satvikaha, sattvic people, yajante, worship, devan, the gods, rajasaha, rajasic, worship, yaksha, rakshamsi, the yakshas and raksham, anye, tamasaha janaha, tamasic people, worship, the ghosts, pretan, the ghosts, Bhutaganan. Sattvic people worship the gods. Rajasic people worship yakshas and rakshasas. Tamasic people worship ghosts and the spirits. Therefore, illiterate means scripturally illiterate. Person can be either sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. Depending upon the character I have come with. I am born with. Now the question is, of these three, which one is the best? Which one is conducive for spiritual knowledge? Sattvika Shraddha alone is a healthy Shraddha which is conducive to spiritual growth. Therefore, my question is, how do I know whether I have Sattvik Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha or Tamasic Shraddha? So that if I know, if I have Sattvik Shraddha, I can nourish it. If I have Rajasic Shraddha, I can gradually change it. If I have Tamasic Shraddha, I can immediately drop it. How do I know what type of Shraddha a person possesses? Paramatma says, Shraddha or faith is an invisible factor because it is a mental state. It is not physically perceptible. And since Shraddha cannot be perceived, it has to be inferred through some other means. Whatever is not pratyaksha gocharam, we have to know through anumana pramanam. If a person falls sick, doctor cannot know the sickness by seeing the body because it is not physically visible. Therefore, he infers by taking the blood sample, which is pratyaksha. Blood is pratyaksha. He takes the sample, has got some parameters. If such things are there, it must be typhoid, jaundice, kidney problem, pressure, and so on. He can analyze. Shraddha will have to be inferred from the type of activity he undertakes. Any activity we can take. Where does he go on holidays? What type of books he reads? What type of friends he has? What type of foods he likes? And that also he says what type of movies he goes to, what type of serials, that is important. Everything I can be used to as a hetu to derive sadhyam. Paramatma here takes the type of puja that he takes to. Even from puja, we can find out what type of Shraddha he has. So, the puja is taken as a sample. By the puja, you can infer that person is sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. How will a puja help in knowing the Shraddha of a person? Every puja or worship has three factors. And the three factors are, number one, the object of worship. What type of deity I worship? Devata. The second is mode of worship. Puja can be done in number of ways. What method of worship I am attracted to? The mode in Sanskrit is prakaraha. The first one is Devata. Which Devata I am attracted to? Which method I am attracted to? The third one is motive, the bhavana. Through this puja, what do I expect to get? What do I say after Mamopata Duritachaya Dwara? Like that. What do I say after Mamopata? The Sankalpa. Very important. Mamopata Samasta Duritachaya Dwara. Sri Parameswara Prityartham. Like that, we do Sankalpa. In the Sankalpa, we will mention our prayer, our wish. So, what type of motive this person has, this will also decide what type of Shraddha he has. So, these three things will determine whether the puja is Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic. Whether Shraddha is Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic. In the fourth verse, Paramatma talks about the object of worship. The three types of deities in our Vedic system. In Hindu philosophy, we have got innumerable deities. People say it is disadvantageous to have so many gods. It is a minus point in Hinduism. The other religion, they have got only one god, which is not confusing, they say. But I would say Hinduism is great. Suppose you want to purchase a dress, which shop you will choose? One shop which sells only Kavi Vastram will only be available. But the another shop, a huge shop, all varieties of clothes from 100 rupees to 10,000, different colors, different designs. So, where do the people go? The people will throng in the second shop where the variety is there, where the price is affordable and also costly. So, this is how we have the gods also. We have 33.3 crore devatas. You have to choose from. You can choose from this variety. So, animal god, woman god, mixed god, animal man, man and man woman, mixed. So many gods are there. So, the deities are divided into three groups. Sattvic devatas, Rajasic devatas, Tamasic devatas. Sattvic deities are those which will bless with spiritual growth, with value system. They will bless me with values, with inner strength. They are called Sattvic deities. They contribute to the inner growth. In fact, generally, the deities that we worship, Rama, Krishna, Ayyappa, Devi, all these devatas, they are Sattvic deities. And we have second group of devatas called Rajasic devatas, who are supposed to bless a devotee with materialistic well-being. Yaksha, Kinnara, Gandharva, Siddha, Uraga, all those devatas, they help a devotee to grow materialistically, to grow in the mundane world. I had told you, then we have got Tamasic devatas, which are called Preta, Bhutan, Pisacha, Dakini, Shakini, like this. They are all evil forces. If a person has got a wicked mind, he will choose this kind of devatas. They are used for material growth and as well as to harm others, for destroying other peoples. So, Sattvika devatas, they are for the good of the people. They are for Shreyo Marga. Annapurne Sada Purne Sankara Prana Vallabe Jnana Vairagya Siddhyardham Bhukshande Cha Parvati. Like this, the prayer will be there. So we want Jnana. For Jnana, Sattva, Guna Pradana, deities we have to choose. Rakshasa Eksharakshamsi Ejante. Rakshasaha Eksharakshamsi Ejante. So, those who want only materialistic growth, they will seek the respective gods. They don't want spiritual growth. Anye tamasa janaha, the others who are wicked minded, they want their personal growth and they don't mind harming others. Such people, they prefer these evil gods. So this is the essence. We will see more in the next class. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.